Hey guys, this is Ed from Seriously Ghetto Workshop, where, as you can see, I've been tinkering a little bit this morning. Uh, this part of the video is going to be kind of short. I wanted to show you a couple of things and then some things that I discovered that I thought you'd be interested in. This is mainly for anybody that's thinking about using a 4-in-1 ESC. And I'll get to that in a minute. I'll show you that on a computer because I have better graphics to show you what I'm trying to explain. Now I've got the board laid out on here, the PDB, or not the PDB, but the ESC on the bottom and the flight controller on top. I have plugged in power to it. All the smoke's still there, and I hope the light's good enough that you can see. I got some of that mesh on my power wire here. I kind of like that. That turned out, it looks pretty good. I hope you can see that all right in the video. I know the light's not good, and I got all kinds of stuff scattered out here. But I'll just for grins, I'll go ahead and show you that I can plug this in, fires up, my beeper works, and the reason it's doing that, I think, is because I don't have it connected to anything. It's looking for stuff right off the bat that's not there. But anyhow, I'll go ahead and unplug that. Now, the whole point of what I'm doing here for this build, and I am a kind of a tinkerer, I like to experiment, was this ability to directly connect the ESC board to the flight controller without having to have a pin block here, just these two cables. Okay, and once I shorten them up to about like so, I think you can see, hope you can see there. Look at that. I can shorten that up right like that, and I'll have about 1 inch of cable. So I'm gonna have to splice them all, but that's not really a problem because this is the kind of soldering I can do best. I can splice wires together pretty well now. But just wanted you to see that. It's nothing permanent yet. I don't have any motors, and I really need those before I do anything very permanent. But having said that, let's go ahead and move on to the computer, and let me show you the part that I discovered that's going to be kind of important to anybody that tries to do it this way. Okay guys, here's what I was talking about. This is a much better view. The first thing you need to know is that on the original version of the Omnibus, whether it's the Flip 32 or the Airbot, the motors weren't in the right order on the board. Now this pin block here, down here, this is the S-Bus and PPM headers, and here is 1, 2, 4, and 3 on the original version 1, and on version 1.1 it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So they got it right. But regardless of which version you get, on this cable harness that goes to the 4-in-1 ESC, I think these are power down here. They still go 1, 2, 4, 3, and you'll have to verify that probably with the multimeter to make sure. You can watch Project Blue Falcon has a video about wiring this up where he shows how to check it with a multimeter for continuity, so you know for sure which one is which. And the pinout diagram is also in the manual, which you can get from Multi-Rotor Mania. Okay, now the next thing you need to know is, first of all, just imagine that these batteries are on the back of your bird. So if that was the case, then this motor right here, which is labeled motor 2, which physically is the motor 2 ESC on the board, is actually where CleanFlight wants motor 1 to be. All right, so now the way you deal with that, up here on this pin block, and again on both of these match up pretty good. There's ground and then there's power, and you see on here it says not used. Depin this, just take this wire completely out of the picture on both harnesses, because then you're going to have to splice the two together. Just take the power away. I think you can leave the ground on and be all right, but take the power completely out of the picture. So now getting back to this, CleanFlight wants motor 1 to be here on the back right corner. but it's motor 2. So what you do is you get the motor 2 wire here, get this pin, and when you splice it in, you come over here to the motor 1 output on the flight controller, which I think is that one right there. Now, by doing that, when the flight controller sends a signal to motor 1 out this wire, it will come into the motor 2 wire here, what the ESC thinks is motor 2, okay, but it doesn't really care. There's no logic there. It's just the way it's laid out. And it will, in fact, control this motor right here, which will be motor 1 in clean flight or beta flight. Now, I hope that made sense. That's the whole point, is that you want this to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, not as it's laid out here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? And then you just have to do the same thing for each one. It's going to be important for you to know, like I said, that this is 1, 2, 4, and 3 on the pin block up here. But again, you really should check it with a multimeter, because there might be a version 1.2 or a version 2 where they straighten that out as well. And the board's not marked, so you really don't know. It doesn't have version numbers on it or anything. You really don't have any way of knowing. So just double check that and be aware of it. And then once you wire it up, you'll never have to do it again. You splice those together in the right order. Then in my case, for instance, and I've got this picture turned this way so that these line up, because that's how mine actually is. This is the bottom of the board. So you flip it over, and this pin block actually lays on top right here, almost next to this one. It's very clean. This is going to be spliced in very, very short. There's not going to be a lot of wire left over there, but I won't need it. So, but to keep it straight for future reference, in case I ever have to take it apart, I'm going to put a mark on this end, just like a straight line or something, and then on the end of the harness too, the connector that goes in there. So the harness with the mark goes to the connecting block with the mark. All right, so that's really it. You just need to get your make sure your motor order is wired in the way that Clean Flight or Beta Flight wants it to be. I think you could probably straighten it up in there too, but I think that probably not the best way to do it. I'm just going to physically wire it in so that I don't have to do anything extra in Clean Flight or Beta Flight. So if you have any comments or questions, you can always find me at Rotocross Racing. I'll do the best I can if I can help any way. I strongly recommend that you watch that Project Blue Falcon video where he shows wiring it up, and also Joshua Bardwell's got a pretty good review on here. And if you're thinking about the Flip 32 or the Airbot Omnibus, Ready to Fly Quads is okay. I got a Flip 32 version from them. It's a good board. I'm using it in my DL265, but they really don't have any support, man. The guy hadn't answered my email yet. The price is a little better. The Airbot cost a few dollars more, but Multi-Rotor Mania answers the phone. And they answer their emails, and they have, as you can see right here, I got all this from Multi-Rotor Mania. It's a much better documentation. There's a manual available for download too, wherever you get it, I highly recommend you look that over. But at any rate, if I can be of any help, let me know, and I hope this has been a help. This is Ed from the Seriously Ghetto Workshop. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.